This will be the scores upon which all your other scores for the rest of the evening shall be based. So please, put your hands together for a Saskatoon poet, Temis, everybody!
So Charles, the first time you said no animal things, but the second time you didn't. So, prepared. I've actually been, for about a year, I've been on this I've been on this thing where I collect people's spirit animals. Like pretty much when I introduce myself to you, I want to know what your spirit animal is. So this is kind of based on that kind of. These starry skies fill our eyes with a deeper shade of black. We wander through these mossy woods but never will look back. A wilder pack of animals I have never seen. I bet you never thought that you would love a wolf like me. Dig your fingers in my fur, I'll take you for a ride. Show me your fangs and I'll unleash the wolf inside. Yeah, hi, yeah, hi, yeah, hi, hi, hi. I'll unleash the wolf inside. Come with me, brothers of the tree, sisters of the owl, wearing coats of feathers and pelts, let me hear your growl. A wilder pack of animals I have never seen. Take me to your riverbed, a place where I can dream. Dig your fingers in my fur, I'll take you for a ride. Show me your fangs and I'll unleash the wolf inside. Yeah, hi, yeah, hi, yeah, hi, hi, hi. I'll unleash the wolf inside. Our blood runs warm against the storm. Our skin smells like pine. I have not a single doubt that this family is mine. A wilder pack of animals I have never seen. We don't belong on paved roads. Our home is in the trees. Dig your fingers in my fur, I'll take you for a ride. Show me your fangs and I'll unleash the wolf inside. Yeah, hi, yeah, hi, yeah, hi, hi, hi. I'll unleash the wolf inside.
Sometimes it comes out like a slip. Sometimes it's an intention. When you hear it, you just have to know, where did I get these words? But what you really ask is, from whose mother did I cut my tongue? Because languages in the colonial mind are extractable subjects slapping wet together on a necklace held tight with dental floss tether. Well, if tongues are cut like vertical lines, you better call my heritage Venetian blinds, because I'm familiar with all those double binds when the zenith of our experience, once so bright, was rendered by English palettes into dark night, where they slash holes to peep through all the better to render my people see through with bright spotlights masquerading as stars. Yeah. They said it was enlightenment to let the light in, but they forgot one thing. They did this under the cover of darkness. Damn. The blue blood in my veins cross-sectioned and flowering with white blood cells. Maybe the only thing Québécois about me, but I remember. Je me souviens, 1916, Honorable Prime Minister Wilfrid Laurier answered the Manitoba School's question. Yes, Francophone education will be cut in the prairies. How appropriate then that the English university that bears his name only offers French courses on the side. An option to the LYNDSAY, which means this is where I come in. 1959, the year that les habitants de Welland, Ontario no longer had to pay for Franco-Ontarien education, meaning my family managed irrespective of their station. But how many tongues got cut off due to poverty, government intervention, cultural misdirection? This is why my tongue still clicks and snaps with the hard consonants that come from English continents. Yeah. This isn't a law poem. Don't be confused by all these X's and O's. Those aren't hugs and kisses, but straight throughs and stitches. O's from where I punched your artificial lights out of the night sky to find I had internal radiant combustion. I am the sun, the daughter not yet tired from exhaustion. The cross-hatching of my stitches, the angles of my X's, are from meetings with the Saxons. They are taken from my accent, where even our letters have emotion, like accent aigu, accent grave. Yeah. Now, if I were long enough to stitch us back together. With soft touch like skylark feather. Imagine what they can do when I sing them to you. Je te plumerai le bec. Je te plumerai le bec.
Bring that shit!
Let's go.
Sit up.
I like your tie.
Yeah.
Before I start, I really want to thank Lydia so much for having us here. This has been an awesome video. I really want to thank all of you all for being here. I believe that you being here is a political act. And one time I was at a poetry place like this, and someone asked me to sit down and be quiet, so I wrote a poem on my feelings about it. Yeah! Open letter to the bro, who came late to the show, complaining the crowd is packed ass to elbows, and then he had the audacity to ask me to stand aside so he can see from the back seat, and I said, please, this ain't a TV screen. This is a freestyle reality. I ain't saying that I belong here more than you, but dude, you gotta move if you want a good view. Get closer. This ain't the line to the bathroom. I want you to climb over me if you have to. Get closer. I paid the cover like everyone else. That's right. This is the only place I love myself. I've got my health and not much else. So forgive me, friend, but I ain't buying what you're trying to sell. You're trying to tell me this is an art form to sit down for and quietly heartwarm. I get to the point, quick as a dartboard, and plenty of time to run my mouth and hardcore. So come to the front row. Hang up your cell phone. Seriously, it's a disruption. Tell mom you love her, because you might not get home. Just let go like an amplified dial tone, louder than my self-loathing when I'm alone. I get close because I need you to know I care. Alienated, this is all I have to share, and some might say it's unsafe. Come what may, but I'll tell you what, I'll be the first to pick you up. The first person concerned you drink too much, close enough to say your attitude sucks, and maybe you ain't racist, but you say some racist stuff. Put in my mouth too, but there'd be no reason to get it out without you. I'm talking about you, Saskatoon, completely serious now, like I got something to prove, because I do, not to you, but to whatever saving grace brought Van Slam to this room, baby. Tell them what we do. We do what we want! Oh, the miracle of the show. It could blow. It could be the most truth you've ever been told. It's with me everywhere I go, from the bottom of my guess to the top of my... No! No! I refuse to stay composed, and I ain't afraid to step on toes, so get closer. Let it ruin your best clothes. Let it mean something. Let it wreck your home. Get closer, like a man possessed, dancing like he's blessed, even if bro ain't impressed.
Show deep, sisters.
What? What if?
What if we
What if we remember?
What if we remember to forget?
What if we remember to forget all?
What if we remembered to forget all our... What if we remembered to forget all our hate?
What if we remember to forget all our hate? What if we remember to forget all our hate? What if we remember to forget all our hate?
What if we remembered to forget all our...
What if we remember to forget all?
What if we remembered to...
What if we remembered?
What if we...
What if?
What?
Last weekend, he told me that he loves me. And ever since then, I haven't been sleeping. See, I've been thinking a lot about death and trying to figure out how to make love to a man who's holding a gun to his own head. One hand twitching, trigger finger happy, other hand frantically surveying my land masses, ass, breasts, lips. You are trying to memorize me. Grabbing for me like a drowning man, gasping for breath. Like a boy who's afraid he won't remember how to breathe when the lights go out. Me? I'm not sure you'll be around long enough to forget. You do another line. Ask me to stay. I will, of course. I'm not a fan of the drug, but I'm hooked on you the same way, and so I do this. I watch your chest rise and fall in the night. Rise, fall, and then stop. And there it is. You forgot. You spring back to life and we start again. You do another line and I join you. We fuck until our brains spill out into silence. We make our beds here, amidst this violent affection on carnal display. Room 511, sheets haven't been washed in days. He tells me that he loves me. He loves me not. I hear the hammer cock back, brace my belly for the shot. He loves me slightly less than he loves banging his head against this hotel room door, or falling asleep on strange floors, or stopping his own heart, just so that his ghost can see how long he can go without breathing. The people beating down the other side of this door could never understand this feeling. No, my baby is all suicide lines and tangled up guts. I watch his chest rise and fall, pretend that I've become accustomed to it all. This is love in room 511, where not all angels go to heaven and we take our demons for a ride. Lock them up inside, square off against our skeletons and swallow their bones instead of our pride. The light peeks in and I seal up the curtains. We fight it out against the clock. He loves me not. He loves me. Just not enough to put the drugs aside. Not enough to help me suture up our future and let these hair-trigger gun lines die in our past lives. He asks me to stay, and I always do this. Cradle his head in my lap and cross every hair on my body in the hopes the night will keep him safe. I forfeit sleep for days. I tell him that I love him. My kisses echo the rain falling on the balcony outside room 511, where only lovers and fiends get a taste of heaven. And I am trying to recapture every breath that he forgot because he'll need them. And believe me, there's a lot, and his trigger finger's itchy, and his gun barrel is hot, and he loves me. He loves me. He loves me not.
Did they really kill Bin Laden?
Man, we'll never really know. But if there is one thing that did show, it would be the misery of literally countless amounts of souls. So the I for a million I theory seems to be getting old, and I promise you can't blame them, because under the desert sun, their hearts have become freezing cold. The price of their lives has been revalued and then resold, but the fire in their eyes keeps them permanently hungry and bold. What they've showed and what's reality are so completely different. And I think we need to start to reassess just who's the real victim, because the war drum keeps pounding that bastardly fucking rhythm, and in the modern day that sounds like the deformation of children. They're killing and willing to never stop this madness. It's developed into a rainforest, what started as a seed of sadness, but the picture has been painted, and they portray them as the savages, when we can't even accurately gauge the emotional damage. Can you understand this, knowing that humans are really the same? They want peace, love, and prosperity, and for their children to have beautiful brains. War is really not a game, but it seems to be popularized in such a way. From the Call of Duties on a battlefield, it's all halos of decay, conditioning a generation to blur the line between real and fake. But to fight a weightless war on terror has now become the American way. It's now become patriotic to aim a gun full of hate at an Iraqi teen who stayed out just a little bit too late. Weight on their shoulders, that doesn't do anyone much justice. It's more like the shrapnel on their backs because of the lies that they trusted. Up from the skies, predators now turn them into hunted. And to think, most of them are still trying to turn nothing into something. It seriously shatters my heart when I hear the confessions of guilty war vets. And rest in peace to anyone who never made it home again to their doorstep. But they pulverized and brutalized that old beautiful fortress. Flipped the situation once again from hopeful to hopeless. But where they still try and keep your focus is their figurehead Bin Laden. And since when should I be ashamed to grow a beard? I'm really asking you what happened. They've attached so much meaning to his name, especially after they grabbed him. And just because I don't believe in American foreign policy doesn't make that man my captain.
Don't be nice, baby. Don't be nice.
My body is a grassland, blowing in the breeze, growing with ease, sprouting bushes of cushions, cozy to me. In grade 5, I sat on the portable steps at recess. A grade 6 girl sitting below me looked at my knees and said rather attitudinally, "Do you shave? Because you should." A grade 5 janitor, where would I mow my soft and untouched grasslands? Who is this girl telling me that parking lots are prettier than meadows? Blank space more interesting than texture. Grade 5 Janice scoffed. Bullshit. I went home that night and told my mom. She looked at me so sadly that I had not inherited her skin smooth like a marble floor. Instead, I had the skin of my father's family, hairy fishing people. And mother hens want to protect their chicks, and ugly chicks get picked on, and my legs were ugly. Ugly for being furry. I learned that girls can't grow grasslands, only boys can. So, that night, 2 sharp metal blades scraped across the surface of my delicate peachy skin. In a white cloud foam masquerading as the fragrant plumage of blooming flowers. It was a massacre. A clear cut. That night in bed, I felt the softness of my sheets in this bizarre new way, like a plucked chicken rubbing up against an unplucked chicken and thinking, shit, I'm naked! And cold! And ready for a butchering. In following years, my grasslands weathered new methods of attempted annihilation. My ants didn't tar and feather, but waxed and ripped out my roots, leaving a war zone of red exploded pixels screaming in silent pain. Grade 9 Janice tried to glorify the smooth, glassy finish of a calm lake and not its surrounding prickly forest. Suppressing the inner mind picket signs protesting, keep your pesticides out of my inner thighs! Technology's advanced, and saboteur marketeers thought of brilliant new ideas like 3 blades, 4 blades, 5 blades. Vibrating blades, aloe moisture strips, slogans and shit, Venus, fire, desire, University Janice entered new growing seasons, left the home turf behind and watered new gardens, hibernating in some library cave and caring not to mow the grass, learning new ideas pulled from old books, discovering forests of grandeur full of free, feathery birds, dreaming of a chicken that one day was brave enough to grow up against the razor-sharp pressures of magazine page beauty and refused to be naked, refused to be plucked. Finding writing in my own damn notebook saying, my body is a grassland, blowing in the breeze, growing with ease, sprouting bushes of cushions. They're cozy. You'll see.
I remember you were sitting on your knees in a bathtub half full of water, and I was standing on my toes watching the mascara run down your face as you held me in your mouth, knees trembling, my whole body quivering like a tightly drawn bowstring, and I had to hang on to the curtain rod for balance. Still on your knees, you arched your back and sat up, your mouth swelling with a storm gathering inside me, hanging on by my fingertips. My legs started to shake uncontrollably. My mouth as incapable of speech as yours. When I finally came, it was like rain after a drought, a flood, a tsunami dump struck as waves of the ocean's roar shook my body like a leaf. Unable to stand, I collapsed on the toilet bowl, and I remember feeling an overwhelming need to cry or laugh, and not knowing how you take the tears. I laughed and I laughed like dry storm clouds finally granted release.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing, nothing without.
She bows her head in shame, my pretty little inmate, bruised face, so you could say she had the blues. She had to lose her sense of independence, and I had the moves, the tools to do just that. Yeah, I made her mine. We spoke a language of fear without ever having to make a sound. I take her down, cause she looks at me wrong, she paces around, I taste her doubts. I love the way her pain tastes. She mocks me with her sane face. I knock her till my pain fades, and see, I have a method. I start slow and move fast like it's your fault. My pretty little widow in a I'm like, I hit her so she stays behind. There's a fly on a dirty little window.
Oh! I am a woman from your rib. You're a human from my womb. And the purpose of these words are not to try to convert you into some bra-burning, razor-ditching, man-hating feminist. I just want you to understand that to survive, we need to coexist. And knowing this, I want to see what you will do about it. You can tell me you'll be good to me, but there could be nothing true about it. But you must understand that we reciprocate each other. We too follow the rule of even exchange. Like what we do are the reactions, and our actions are the elements. And how we feel when all is done is all directed by the alchemist, our hearts that bond. And if you want to get technical, feelings are just chemical reactions anyway. They are obnoxious and they will cost us, and they can cause us to maybe not trust. So we must be cautious and not get hot enough to heat us up to the point where we spontaneously combust. And oceans and lakes cannot place us out of these fireless flames, so we both just drown. But we must understand that we resuscitate each other. We must understand why we both love and hate each other. The existence of our differences just make us all the same. If we mess up, then each of us has the other one to blame. And I know that just because you're wrong doesn't mean that I was right. And just because we're strong doesn't mean that we should fight. And even though I might be fine living out my life without you, I couldn't just decide to go and give another life without you. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl.
He looks into his pint glass, and he sees an old man. Because he's been looking at this Dorian Gray portrait of himself every day, able to stay young and beautiful if he could just keep himself from destroying it with selfish sips. But he can't, because he's an alcoholic. And he's been collecting week 1 AA chips like he's building a set for poker. And with anemic allusions to Bram Stoker, alcohol is the monster sucking the life out of him. He looks into his pint glass, And he sees images in the Rochelle foam the way that people who actually go outside see things in clouds. He sees a hammer, and it reminds him of the time he once built a house with his bare hands. But he thought of it more as building a home, the same way he imagines birds building nests. Don't think of them as merely kerplunking twig bowls, but more as a place that their eggs will grow. But then your eggs grow up to think that you're an asshole. Because instead of buying promised ponies and little girls' college funds, you spend all your money betting on ponies and having fun with college girls. He takes a sip and the foam morphs into breasts. But he sees breasts everywhere lately, like his mind is trying desperately not to forget what they look like. Because he's still afraid of the internet. And he thinks that porn shops are for degenerates. So he hasn't seen breasts in a long fucking time. And he's been measuring that time with these glasses shaped like half of an hourglass. And about half of an hour is as long as they last. And when they're done, it just means it's time for another one. He gets up to take a piss. And he considers making his Johnson bigger. But if it's anything like his nose, it'll still grow, so no. He won't play this condom machine, the anti-VLT for those who don't want to gamble, for those who don't want to take any chances. He doesn't even play VLTs anymore because, like, every woman he ever loved, he never knew when to stop pressing their buttons until he's left depressed and alone. But this bar is his home. It's where he belongs. And he's a joy, at least for the first 10 beers, until he gets too liquored, till his volume rises inversely proportionate to the distance at which he speaks. As he spats spit into the back of people's throats, Eskimo kisses close. That's when he loses them. That's when his card castle of charisma crumbles and he becomes the king of hearts, inserting his own sword into his ear. That's when no one wants to hear what he has to say, and he stumbles into the back alley and says, "Dylan, my son, I wish I could just drown in the sea of tranquility. Because of all my addictions, it's my addiction to air that's killing me. If I could just stop breathing, maybe I'd stop fucking up."
There you go. Talk to us.
M or F? A or B? True or false? Life is like math. 1 + 1 should equal 2. Never 11. M or F? Right or wrong? Some things can't be seen with just a glance. Choose A or B? What about C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and or Z? When ordered to make a claim, a choice of one from 2 letters put beside my name, M or F? I cross them out, put hatch marks instead, write a little note beside it that says, "You're missing a few. You're supposed to be 26. In this world of double binds, I am a contradiction. I am the masculine woman, I'm the effeminate man. I am the division and accumulation of both. Sort me into a box that you think you can understand. Paint it pink for a voice that sings songs sweetly with emotion that I don't care to hide. Or maybe it'll be blue for my unapologetic presence that's reclaiming space I was denied. I'll huff and I'll puff, blow the walls down, break your boxes wide open. See, I am the great divide between shame and pride, between pink and blue, between whom I was told to be, and all of the ways I remained true.
Yes.
I am fluid energy. I can't be crammed into a mold to make others feel more comfortable. Sort me into a box, but you won't lock me in, for I am the scorching heat that burns through all confines, the luminous light that casts away all shadows, the magnetic force that draws everything in closer, the bellowing call of the self-empowered, claiming my authority to be self-defeated.
me into a box that you think you can understand. Maybe pink for a voice that seems too soft, or blue for a presence that seems too hard. I'll huff and I'll puff, blow the walls down, break your boxes wide open. There's no need for pink and blue when my favorite color is green.
We're in the zone with headphones and Sony speakers. We speak loud because we're proud that our Asian Airways travels worldwide like Psy. Open Gangnam Style. From the southern tip to Chile, to the Chilean youth, but none of it, we're none of it. It's ever a bad thing to brag that even passengers will hear us on Cathay Pacific Airways, so raise the Asia. Like noodles to steamed rice, stir fried to fried rice, we walk the walks of life with a mix of veggies. We've even designed some thongs to rock the wedgies. We're in the mixed martial art and our spoken word of art and other forms of artistry everywhere, everywhere. Like dragons painted on back walls as fresh ink sinks to lower backs and all. With Asian characters, symbols, and phrases, raise the Asia. So everywhere you look, we're invading the space like space invaders. We're expanding the race, moving forward like Toyota. Electric bikes with golden motor, ping batteries of lithium and phosphate. As our face form the smiles on happy faces. So trace it, check the border lines lining places on the map while straight and exact. Our impact has gone global, coast to coastal. Sight through squinted eyes, or if wide, they're actually oval. Raise the Asia. From computers to cell phones, carrying nannies so you're not alone. Pharmacists and pharmaceuticals, all the way to farmers farming pharmaceuticals. Growing ops as military ops view us through our scopes. Raise the Asia. From soybeans to soy sauce, don't want to get caught in the crossfire shot, so we see peace in the Middle East, aka West Asia. That's right, we got Iraq and Iran, we got Afghanistan, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, and Syria. Just you wait, things about to get serious. Not only do we got military up the yin yang, but we got the Holy Land, Jerusalem. You know what that means? Jesus was born in Asia! Yeah, that's right! Now the wheels are turning! Moses freed the slaves into Asia! Yemen, we got Yemen. And just above Yemen, we got Arabia. What? Muhammad the Prophet was Asian! We got origins of the Orient, Christians and Muslims, Buddhists and Zodiacs, Karma and Kama Sutra, the past, present, and the future. Philosophies and beliefs, raise the Asia. From sumo wrestling to Tai Chi, box screens and high D's, bears and anacondas, life is good. Raise the Asia. We are everywhere. We are universal. To the Western world, we are no longer just Chinese or Japanese. We are Filipino. We are Vietnamese. We are from India. We are Lebanese. Hi, how you doing? Привет, как дела? You Russian? Yeah, you Asian. We share ties in history and religion. So let's seek peace and world vision. Cause from Godzilla to Hello Kitty, we all up in your city! Pass me an egg roll and a shawarma and a baby babka. Then we can sit back, relax, and wash it down with some sake and some vodka. Raise the Asia!
Guideline for packing up a decade of your life because your parents are separating, semicolon, your inevitable descent into alcoholism, the drinking game. Take a shot for every old math assignment you find. No chase if it's from elementary school. This is your punishment for being a hoarder. Or for your lack of ability to recognize what is and is not important. Take a shot and the picture for every old poem you once felt good about that now makes you question if you are fit to hold a pen ever again. This is also acceptable for journal entries. Side note, if you decide to go the route of tearing up these relics of your personal history and ridding yourself of the vile creations, please remember to recycle. Your old work doesn't need to be garbage on 2 levels. Chug your drink whenever you find remnants of old lovers. Stains, crumpled discovered handcuff boxes, flowery correspondences conveying undying love or spite, both of which have probably died. For every time that you don't cry getting rid of the stuffed animals who are your best friends and quiet confidants. For every time you are able to withstand the fetal position's mating call while looking into their glass eyes and finding your earliest ideas about humanity there, reward yourself. Fix yourself something nice named after a city. Put a little umbrella in it. You deserve it. When you realize that neither of your parents will have the storage space for your comic books, take a swig. Have a second when you figure out you don't have the means to transport them elsewhere. And a third when you finally recycle them. The memorized panels stare up at you from between egg cartons and empty cans of Campbell's soup. Hope that you've adopted Bruce Wayne's courage and Jughead's shut-eyed serenity, that you have learned well enough. If you are vomiting by now, that's okay. You can always use the alcohol as an excuse. Have 3 cups of water, rest, go back to the liquor store and pick your poison. Have a drink if the poison you picked is not the one that destroyed your home. Toast making different bad decisions than your parents. Drink if you are trying to retrace their steps. It is a bad idea to do this. If you feel an abnormal loss of free will or trapped in your traits, lips to the bottle, do not mix with medication. Throw up again if you need to. Try and get it all in the toilet, because there's another family moving into this house in 3 days. Now, put your shot glass to rest, pick up a pen, and sign your name somewhere sneaky, where it won't be found or painted over. Wipe your mouth, walk to the door, thank the place, and take your baggage with you.
I am from a generation of Iranian youth, jaded from revolutions and the iron-coated fist of religious rule, in between homes with no real place to call our own. And I am also from a generation of Canadian youth, jaded from the sugar-coated fist of economic rule, with an attention span you could measure in between instant messaging alerts and no time for politics.
And I'm from a generation of Bedouin Iraqi youth, severed from their homeland when the hot desert storm was brought on by cold men who were focused on roasting the backs of their people and leaving them homeless. See, my pops was a political policeman, poet focused on exposing the wrongs of his leaders, so they ripped, pissed, and burned his notebook and shit. He hasn't wrote a poem ever since.
We are from a lost generation. We hail from the cradle of civilization.
To tell you a tale in our own tongues of shattered crowns and broken kings.
The revolution in Iran only broke the backs of youth so that their bones could support the seats of those who scrambled for power. The establishment only collapsed in 1979 to give birth to one more evolved and ruthless. That day, we did not fight against a dictator. We fought the many-headed hydra of our own egos, and every time we severed one, 3 more grew from its place.
The war in Iraq only heated up an already hot desert till the sand hardened, parted, and shattered, and the USAF stealth planes left the homeland natives discarded. Their scars were emphatic. They watched as the hopeless past laid down and made angel shapes in the broken glass, see them bleed and shit. They say to this day, if you put your ear to the scorching hot desert sand, you may still hear their screams.
We are the forgotten children of Achaemenid,
Assyria,
Persia,
and Babylonia.
Thousands of years of history and poetry course through our veins.
As we lay here,
forgotten under the heavy dust of politics, our mouths are bitter with the taste of the ashes from the fires of former glories gone cold, but we are here to remember,
no matter what we are told,
that greatness is not measured by the expanse of an empire
or the convictions of its people,
but by the brilliance of the stars that shine from the dark constellations of our own hearts. We are sick and fed up of being sold sanctions and violence as if they were a means to peace.
The current stories about Iran sound a lot like the missing case of Iraq's WMDs.
Not to mention that a war on terror looks a lot like a snake eating its own tail until it all ceases to be. We are from a lost generation, deaf and blind to any ideology but that of the heart.
And in our being lost lies our greatest potential.
Because who knows how far we can go or what boundaries of the unknown we can test together when we know that it's only the lost who can be found. And we know that spoken word is our way to be found. Because we have learned how to think and we are learning how to speak right here. So when the time comes, we will know how to act.
I just met some family a couple weeks ago, so I'm gonna do this piece here.
Yeah, drop
Somewhere in this world I have a biological half-brother battling cancer. Well, actually all I can say with any surety is that somewhere in this world 6.5 years ago I had an 8-year-old biological half-brother battling cancer. We only met once for half an hour and now I can't remember his name. Some like to claim that blood's thicker than water, but I was adopted at 6 weeks old and growing up every winter, our water froze. I never chose my family, but they chose me. And although I ain't the type of guy who buys into that everything happens for a reason theory, I've closely examined the circumstances. And in a world where fair weather-carrying semi-revolutionary North American adults can watch the newest Michael Moore documentary on their iPhone 5 coming home from work, but 8-year-old boys still have to battle cancer, I think the chances are practically transparent that I could have ended up anywhere else. The beautiful woman I will forever call my mother tells me that by the age of 27, it became evident that she was barren, and that her and her husband Clarence Nice took legal custody of me from a troubled single mother of 2 they both knew from high school named Marlene Jackson. Now this particular Miss Jackson was down with all kinds of street action, so aside from never knowing his dad, Zach was born with the Jones for smack and some mad ADHD, which explains why I talk so fast. And why I ain't trying to boast, but I've been addicted to everything from crack to French toast. But the roller coaster ride had just begun because by the time I turned 1, Marlene had kidnapped me back twice, but Terry and Clarence fought her in court and did everything they could to ensure that I grew up Zach Nice. Moved around a lot, got their degrees, miraculously managed to have 2 more kids of their own, settled down in northern BC to try and give their new family a home, but turns out my dad was part dog, and the dog follows his bone. So mom packed up the kids and we went back to the road. I was 11 years old, my siblings were 4, 6, and 8. I know that I'm the one who realized exactly how much weight that U-Haul truck carried from Terrace to Tabor. My mother drove that load alone, not to prove that she don't need no man to save her. She did it because she had to. She did it because she had 2 daughters barely out of diapers. She did it because she had 2 sons who were too hyper. She did it because she had self-respect. God only knows that the next few years were anything but a breeze, but now more than 2 decades later, Terry can breathe with ease knowing that she's raised 4 kids who firmly believe that she's the greatest woman in the world. Early on in life, I learned that there ain't always a happy ending in sight. There's no point defending either end of the social Darwinism argument because I prove them both right. They say blood's thicker than water, but I was adopted at 6 weeks old and growing up every winter, our water froze. I never chose my family, but they chose me, and in doing so ensured that I rose free of the constraints that I was born to. Born to a troubled single mother of 2 who worked the streets too late. Born to an impoverished Southern Alberta native reserve with a 64% unemployment rate. And so much overproof alcoholism, I know that I would have never risen from that prison being an addict from birth. Which is why first and foremost, I hold my mother on high. But that's not to say that I can simply deny who I am or where I came from, because that shit's ingrained, it's genetic. I'm still the same son that Marlene labeled with her one September 9th. I'm still the older and younger brother of her other attempts at a family, and I'm still the unknown son of some man she fucked for money back in the 70s. So yeah, sometimes life can get a little hellish, but I know they got heaven's keys wrapped up in these words that I spit, and that life ain't never worth giving up on, no matter how much shit we gotta shovel to get to wherever we meet our end. Which is why, although I don't know if I'll ever meet him again, I hope that somewhere in this world I still have a biological half-brother battling cancer.
Man, serious fuck, man. We're trying to do a fucking poem. What?
I just figured something out.
What?
Shut the fuck up. I love my vagina. Yeah, I love my vagina.
Well, I love my vagina.
I love my vagina. Of course you do.
I love my vagina. I love my vagina.
Fucking right, Ahmed. What?
Even though other people laugh at it, because it's only got half the normal nerve endings in my clit.
Even though my ovaries hang slack, slinging beneath my uteral stack.
I love my vagina.
Oh, with his little lips puckered up. With his precision aim, its sense of direction.
With its love of being buttered up, love of play, of making connections.
Yes, I love my vagina.
And my vagina loves me.
I know what it wants, and I know what it needs. As with its head raised,
with a friendly wink, with an eye to appraise,
with its swollen pink,
with its puckered lips kissing, dizzy from the blood rush, my clit,
my cunt,
other cunts would touch.
Perhaps just a handshake, or a few friendly words.
or a long night spent sleepless, as love is a verb.
Yeah. Till we cease to commune with a smile or a swoon, our vagina lips smiling, having danced for the moon.
Though I love my vagina.
What the fuck are you doing? Not all love it. Some call it a cock.
Can't see it's a clit.
Yeah. Call my ovaries balls.
Which is ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Just cause it hangs out, cause my clit's gigantic.
Just cause it dangles, cause it's prone to panic. Just cause it looks different, they call it a dick.
But it's no less a vagina for being my man bit.
And this isn't psychology,
It's straight up biology.
Cause you see, before we're born, before we take shape,
before our genitals form, before our brains rearrange, before we are torn between hormone traits, we embody one love.
And hate doesn't gestate.
But some people learn fear.
Start talking gender dysphoria.
Well, all I want is gender euphoria.
So, I love my vagina to my heart, to my core. I love my vagina. I hope you love yours.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. I'm gonna buy you a mockingbird. I was 4 years old. I was afraid of being in the basement all by myself. I should have been afraid of my babysitter. I didn't know what he was asking me to do, but I knew that it made my tummy feel funny, my cheeks flush hot and red. He told me not to tell, or he would kill me, so I stretched out my tiny fingers as he began to sing. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. I was 8. I was used to being made fun of, but the boy who sat behind me in class made my life a living hell. He would kick me so hard that I would have bruises in the shape of shoe prints on my back. I went to my teacher who said, "Boys will be boys. Try not to call attention to yourself." I went to my mother who said, "You should be flattered. He clearly has a crush on you." My tailbone still aches to this day whenever it rains, but it was those words that he whispered into my ear that kept me awake at night. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. I was 18. My ugly duckling self had attracted the attention of a boy home from college. I was pretty sure that I was in love. I wasn't so sure that I was ready to have sex, but he grabbed me and he pinned me down on my parents' dining room table. My face ended up in the butter dish. Everyone told me that he was the perfect boyfriend, but all I could taste was blood and butter every time he sang. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. I'm 32. I wish I could tell you that the litany of violence ended decades ago. I wish I didn't have stories about men who tried to pull me into their car, men who grabbed my breasts, men who masturbated in public. Every time I hear a man whisper, bitch, slut, whore in my ear, I hear the same damn song over and over again. Hush, little baby, don't say a word, don't say a word, don't say a word, don't. Well, I'm tired of keeping my mouth shut.